Hello everybody and welcome back to another Beyblade X unboxing video. Today we have a triple unboxing here for you for the special brand new CX Infinity line of Beyblades. That being CX13 Bahamut Blitz with its unbalanced gimmick that I'll show shortly. CX14 Night Fortress with the brand new ratchet, 8-sided ratchet. Excited to see how that performs. And the stamina type Ragna Rage CX15 with its extremely silly looking bit. When I first unboxed this thing looked ridiculous. It didn't even look like a real Beyblade part. But we'll get into the details shortly. But before that, I want to look at the back of the box and see all the stats and details I could tell you before actually looking at the Beyblade. This will be very brief. Here is the box of Bahamut Blitz. And what's different about the CX Infinity line is that the main blade not only separates into 3 parts like normal CX Beyblades, but separates into additional 4th part. I forget the name, so through this video I'm just gonna call it the fusion wheel, because that's what they called that part in Beyblade Metal Masters. There's the front of the box, comes with a launcher we'll look at. And this Beyblade's gimmick is that if you line up every single part of the Beyblade, it could be very unbalanced as intended, or it could be more balanced if you don't line up those parts. This Beyblade is an attack Beyblade, very aggressive shape. We have a brand new, pretty hype part of 150. I think we could all agree one-sided ratchets are probably the best shape ratchets, and 50 being the lowest height. It doesn't really get any better than that. And this extremely aggressive ignition bit that we'll take a deeper look on right now. As usual, I have all the parts here laid out, and we'll start from the bottom, the ignition bit. This bit is a high resistant burst bit and is extremely aggressive looking. I mean, look at that surface area. And it is 2 millimeters shorter by default of other bits. And I have other flat bits for comparison, starting off with the accelerate driver. Same amount of gears, but as you see, a little bit shorter once I line them up at the tip, 2 millimeters to be exact. And then again, huge surface area. It's a little indented for whatever reason. And it's got these grooves that I don't think are gonna do anything. And as you see here, it's a lot more surface area. So this is gonna have extreme aggression and ride that extreme line, so much so that I think it's gonna die of stamina loss before anything can happen. But we'll see how this Beyblade performs. But before that, I have another bit under flat. This is already 2 millimeters shorter than a normal bit, and as you see, they're about the same height. Just to show. And then again, way more surface area, and then again, the center is sunken in for whatever reason. And it's got those indents in the Beyblade tip. There you go. Moving on to the ratchet. Not much else to say besides it's a 1 ratchet. And it's the lowest height 1 ratchet. I think this is gonna be the best ratchet in the game unless they add like a metal ratchet that's also low with normal burst resistance, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen. But it's in this nice pink color. And I mean, yeah, it's a one-sided ratchet, lowest height. Very cool. And here is the main blade, or the blade assembled. I'll quickly disassemble this to show all the pieces individually, starting off with the lock chip. It's got a cool motif. I mean, it's nothing special. It looks like a dragon, even though it's supposed to be a Bahamut. I think Bahamut's like a demon or something. And moving on, let's show off how these pieces separate, starting off with whatever this part is called. Again, I'm gonna call it the fusion wheel. The gimmick with this part is that one of the blades, well, the gimmick with most of these parts, but one of the blades here is a lot thicker and bigger than the other blades. If you look real close here, it's kind of hard to tell the difference between these two blades, but it is a little bit thicker, but on the side it's a lot more pronounced. There is the thicker part of plastic, and here's the regular sided blade, plastic blade. I'm not too sure what these fusion wheels will do. I mean, I kind of like this one only because it's kind of already built in with a gimmick to match with the rest of the parts. But I don't think they're gonna provide too much performance because they're pretty light, but we'll see, I could stand corrected. Moving on to the metal blade. Again, this shares the same gimmick as one of these 5 blades is a lot more thicker and heavier than the other 5. Here's the heavier one, a lot thicker. Here's the normal one, a lot smaller. Here's the side profile. Again, it's got 4 lines if it wants to focus. Come on. There you go. But if we look at the side, also these blades are so thin now. 2 lines. 2 lines. Come on. 2 lines. 2 lines. 4. Just to signify that this is a lot heavier. Flipping it around, it is hollow. And the rest are full. But there we go. And then finally, the assist blade again shares the same gimmick as the other 3 pieces or 2 pieces, is that it is unbalanced. One of these 5 blades is unbalanced, and you can see here once you flip it around, this plastic blade has a lot more plastic filled in compared to the others. There's the other side, it's got like 2 rows of plastic. Over here, it's got like, I don't know, like 7. I'm not bothering counting all that. Here's the side profile. I don't think it's thicker than the rest. It's kind of hard to see because it's all black. But it is not thicker than the rest. It just has more plastic filled in than the rest of them. And there's no hole cut out. Just notice that. Yeah. Yeah, the hole is filled in compared to the rest. But supposedly, once all those pieces align, like so, assembling it, this thing freely spins. So we line up these 2 blades, these 2 heavy blades, and again, line up this heavy plastic blade. If it wants to line up, there you go, just like so. And we lock everything together. We get a very unbalanced blade. Again, we could line up the 1 point with the heavy sided of the blade. Boop. Here we have fully assembled, unbalanced Bahamut. Now let's weigh this Beyblade and its parts individually before we move on. All right, let's weigh the parts individually, starting off with Ignite. Around 2 grams, 2.4, sure. The Ratchet, 150. I bet it's gonna be around 6 grams. 5.7, missed the mark a little bit. The Assist Blade, I forget its name, but the unbalanced Assist Blade being pretty light, almost 5 grams. It definitely does not feel heavy at all. Here we have is this very thin and hollowed out metal blade. It's so weird to see a blade like that. Almost 30 grams. Let's call it 30 grams. It's just shy of it. Here we have is the plastic fusion wheel. Oh, it's so hard to see. That being almost 4 grams. Can we get another? Nope. 3.8. And of course, the lock chip, it's gonna be like 1 gram, 1.7. It's not a metal lock chip. Now let me fully assemble this Beyblade, weigh it all together, and we'll move on to the next one. And all together, those parts weigh almost 50 grams, 2 grams off of 50. So 48 grams. I wouldn't say that's too bad, but we'll see how this Beyblade performs, because this unbalanced nature and this extremely aggressive wide bit has me a bit concerned if it'll perform well at all. But once we'll have our battle video with it, we'll see. Moving on to the next Beyblade, being Knight Fortress. Let's take a quick look at the box. Here we have the front of the box of a Knight Fortress. Not much to say besides it looks cool. This is a defense type, supreme defense type. The gimmick is supposed to like knock back. That's the gimmick of all defense Beyblades. There's the stats of the blade. The new 8-sided ratchet, 870. Excited to see how that performs. And under needle, which we've seen before. It also comes with a launcher, and I just realized I forgot to show off the launcher of Bahamut, so I'll show them at the same time right now. Here are the launchers of both Bahamut and Knight Fortress. They look exactly the same, besides the prongs are different colors. This is a nice pink, and this is a nice green. The rip cords are much of the same. Green and pink. They're not extended rip cords, so you're not gonna get that extra power, but it's got a nice little graphic right there if you care about that at all. All right, moving on to the actual blade. All right, here we have all the parts laid out, starting from the bit. I'll be brief with this. Pretty good bit under needle. We've seen this before on Rock Golem. Not much else to say besides it's a pretty good bit. In kind of like a grayish green color. Excited about that. I'm also excited about this new ratchet, the 8-sided 870 ratchet. It's got 7 millimeters in height, I think it is. And just like the 7 ratchet, it is a lot more thicker in the plastic than normal ratchets. Will this perform well? I'm optimistic, but just these angles, I feel like a Beyblade can easily snipe that real good. But it is a lot more thicker, so maybe it'll have a bit more weight than regular ratchets. Here's the back of it, and it looks cool in my opinion. We'll see how this 8-sided ratchet performs, if it's burst prone or if it's something. Oh, I just noticed it's pretty hollow. Okay, maybe it won't be that much more heavy, but we'll see once we weigh the part. Let me disassemble the blade of Knight Fortress. Here we have all the parts laid out. Let's look at the lock chip. Nice silver lock chip, nothing metal. I don't know about the art there. Kind of looks okay, to be honest, or not the art. The art looks cool, but like the knight himself kind of looks like a knight motif we've already seen before on another Knight Beyblade. I think it was Knight Lance. We've seen this, but it's in CX. It's all right. Now, let's keep working down. As for this fusion wheel, whatever it's called, I don't think there's much of a gimmick to this besides it's a lot more vertical, like it sticks up more than the other fusion wheel. It's not unbalanced or anything, and I don't think the blade lines up with anything with the fusion wheel. I mean, it looks cool. If the Beyblade tilts super heavy, maybe it attacks, like has more attack power with that. But just like the fusion wheels in Metal Fight, I don't think this is gonna matter unless, I mean, just for aesthetics, it's gonna matter, I think. Maybe in minor niche cases where you want your Beyblade to tilt super hard and you want these plastic pieces to hit the metal or something like that. I remember that happening in Metal Fight. But I think these are mostly aesthetic pieces unless they do some sort of gimmick with it, like with Bahamut that I showed just earlier this video. Here is the blade. This feels a little bit more heavier, just as thin. So not a lot of metal going on with these pieces. It's got a nice printed piece though of a yellow there. Flipping it around. Is there an unbalance here? No, don't think so. It's filled up. I mean, the shape's okay. The shape kind of reminds me of Perseus Dark, and Perseus Dark wasn't the best. So I'm a little worried for this metal blade. Let's stay optimistic and see if there's a combo for that. Maybe this is the combo with the assist blade. I believe it's called Fortress. Same thing about this assist blade. I don't know if this is gonna be used for anything. Like, if you want defense, just put on wheel. The fact that they made wheel so round just kind of makes any defense slash stamina type assist blade null. I don't really see the point to use this over. I mean, it feels lighter than wheel. I would have to double check the weights, but it looks cooler. I don't know. I mean, it is round, so if you don't have wheel, you could get this, but not sure the point of this compared to wheel or any other defense assist blade. Just use the wheel. Of course, if you're playing competitively. If you're looking for aesthetics, I think this is a lot cooler, this assist blade. Very thin though, pretty thin. All right, let's weigh the parts and fully assemble this Beyblade. Once again, we'll start from the bit. 2 grams. Wait a minute. Is Ignite heavier than normal bits? Oh, it's slightly heavier if it didn't roll off. Not that much heavier. Okay, I was tripping. I thought it was gonna be significantly heavier. Let's see the 8-sided 70 height ratchet. Okay, 7.8. Is that significantly heavier than, let's say, 150? By 2 grams. So I was right. It gives it a little bit more oomph. It gives it a little bit more weight. All right. Let's put on whatever this assist blade is called. Okay, 5.4. Sure. Still doesn't compare to wheel. You know what? I'm just gonna compare all the pieces to Bahamut at this point, since I've been doing that. The assist blade, whatever it's called. Yeah, I mean, it's like 0.5 grams heavier. Sure. The metal blade, whatever this is called, let's call it Fortress. 29, or not 29, 27.4 compared to Bahamut's. Wow, this is lighter? Really? What the heck? I thought this was gonna be heavier, but it's lighter. Interesting. And just to weigh it. Same thing as Bahamut. Let's fully assemble the Beyblade and look at it. Here we have the fully assembled Knight Fortress. I already forgot the Beyblade's name. It looks really cool and goofy at the same time. Look at this huge stack of plastic. It is thick. But what annoys me is that the 8 sides don't line up with like the vague 8 sides of, well, it's not even 8 sides, any of the sides of the assist blade. So that's a little annoying to me. But other than that, it looks pretty cool. It weighs, is that lighter than Bahamut? Let me put on Bahamut's combo. So Knife Fortress was 47. What? Knife Fortress is lighter than Bahamut's combo? It is, by like 1 gram, but still. Huh. I figured with all this extra plastic, it'd be heavier, and it's a defense type. We'll see how that performs. But finally, we've made it to Ragna Rage, the most aggressive looking stamina type I've seen. Let's take a quick look at the back of the box. Here we have the front of the box of Ragna Rage. There you go, looks cool. Here's the back of the box. It is a stamina type. I think the gimmick is supposed to be wind resistance or like that, but it's just like for show. Here is the blade, stamina oriented, but as we'll see here, it is very not shaped for stamina at all. Here we have is 455, the weaker simple ratchet, where bits burst resistance don't matter, so it's a lot more burst prone. But it is a low height, but it is square, so there's lots of butts. And here we have is this brand new silly looking stamina bit called a Yield. This thing looks ridiculous. It's got like plastic all over it. It's got a huge amount of gears, and it's a lot of surface area that we'll take a quick look at right now. Here we have all the parts laid out, and I could finally talk about this bit. This thing looks ridiculous, man. Like, it's a stamina bit, so low burst resistance, but then it's got these plastic wings, or whatever you want to call them, like Whale Waves, what was it called, Elevate? But a huge amount of gears. I mean, here's just Ignite for example. This is an insane amount of gears. Like, what is this, like 24 or something? Like, geez, and a lot of surface area there. Again, here I have Ignite just to show how much more surface area there is. I think this will be a decent stamina bit, but I'm just worried once the Beyblade starts tilting, it'll snag on the extreme line here and burst itself, a bit burst as people call it. So I'm optimistic, but this could go poorly for this Beyblade. Also, it is heavier than normal Beyblades, and it could do that. There's only like 2 Beyblades that have bits that do that. Moving on to the ratchet. We've seen this ratchet before. Used to be the lowest height, and then 50 came out. These simple ratchets are kind of irrelevant unless you have a blade like, well, there's only one blade that's like Clock Mirage, where you're only allowed to use simple ratchets. I'm not sure why these are made. I feel like if it's gonna have a low height, it should automatically be a simple ratchet. But that's just me, because these simple ratchets, I think they just need to introduce more broken blades with limitations, like Clock Mirage, to use these for anything. But it's a nice orange yellowish color. Sure. Let's disassemble this and take a look at the parts of Ragna Rage. Here we have all the parts laid out. Starting off with lock chip. I think this thing looks awesome. It's like a freaking devil or something. I think this looks really cool, and it's got like a cool little motif of The flame kind of forming an R. If you squint hard enough, it could look like an R for Ragna Rage. Moving on to the fusion wheel. Not much else to say about this besides it looks cool. It's got flames and it's got an oval shape. And it does stick up a little bit. So again, if the Beyblade ever tilts, maybe it could provide a little bit more attacking power. Like this. Something like that. I don't know. Honestly, don't know what these could be used for besides making the Beyblade a little bit more top heavy. And for style, looking at the metal blade, it is an oval. And it's supposed to be a stamina type. I've already seen people try to use this for attack types. To not much of effect. It's not really big of enough of a blade to hit hard. And I mean, it's got an aggressive shape, but I don't think it's that aggressive to warrant an attack type thing. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this thing ends up being aggressive, this blade. But yeah, there's the bottom part. Is this uneven? No, it's even. It's kind of uneven from the way the metal is, but not insanely so. And again, going to the assist blade, another oval shape. This is not round, and it's pretty jagged for being a stamina type. So, I mean, the back of the box said it was supposed to be aerodynamic. I doubt that. Maybe it provides a lot of recoil. Maybe it's more of a defensive type, because I know defensive types like recoil stuff. But I can't even imagine a world this could be used for anything besides an attack. Maybe a defense. Bottom, I mean, it's evenly filled with plastic, but it's just that oval shape, man. It's just not a stamina shape. I don't know. They always come out with oval shaped blades and call them stamina type blades. They're just not it, you know? It looks cool though. All right, let's weigh these parts. Starting off with the ridiculous yielding bit. Whoa, double the amount of normal bits. That's expected. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Here we have the 450 or 55, 4.6 grams. The assist blade of Ragna Rage, forget the name. 6 grams. Is that heavier than Bahamut's? Oh, it is. It's got some weight. I'm telling you, this could be an attack ratchet. Could be, maybe. We'll see the main blade or the metal blade. 27 grams. I still think Bahamut's is heavier. Yeah, it's heavier by like 2 grams or so. To the plastic fusion wheel bit, 3.7, and again for comparison, Bahamut's 3.7, so about the same weight. And then finally, the lock chip. All right, let's fully assemble this. And here we have the fully assembled Ragna Rage. Again, a very oval shape. I know you could switch around the assist blade and the fusion wheel to make it a less oval shape, but come on. I do see the attack potential for this now, but I don't think it has that much weight, and it's not that aggressive enough to be a good attack type, let alone a stamina type at all. Maybe potential for some sort of defensive build. I don't know. I don't think I'm smart enough for that. And this full combo weighs, I think that's about the same as Night Fortress. I'm wrong? Oh, it's exactly the same. And then Bahamut Blitz is just heavier than these two? Sorry, I have Bahamut Blitz disassembled. Where's the chip? There it is. I mean, it's by 1 gram, but that's a surprise that These two weigh exactly the same, but the attack type has a bit more heft to it. Interesting. And finally, we completed the triple unboxing. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you watched all the way through. I have a bad habit of talking way too much about parts and bits, and the video gets way too long, so I appreciate anyone who even skipped through and saw their Beyblade that they wanted to see. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I definitely am most hyped for Bahamut Blitz here, just because of the gimmick of being so unbalanced. I kind of want to put a Quake driver on there just to see it hop around like insanely so. I am also excited to see about Ragna Rage and this incredibly silly looking bit. I do think it has potential, maybe. I'm just worried about these plastic little lips grabbing onto the stadium and bit bursting like that. And this oval shape should be interesting. Night Fortress, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it has potential. But, I don't know. Not much to say about Night Fortress, to be honest. Yeah, without further ado, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next Beyblade battle video. See ya!